have no idea why my thing crashed, so I guess I'm gonna start turning on those settings for disconnect protection. And stuff. So what do we think? Do we think some bands should change?
I would maybe swap out the Hecarim or Udyr, probably the Hecarim ban in favor of a Yone ban this game. I think really bad Zed played a great Yone. The alternative would be to ban the same things and hope that they don't first pick Yone. What are Pinkwoods first picked Kaisa last game, which means to me from their research they probably thought it was going to be taking something away from Tyler Juan, and it is, I think, one of MindStatic's most played ADCs.
I do think that first idea of swapping out the Hecarim ban for the Yone ban would probably be the most effective, because if Hecarim is up and Lilia is up, Impex can only pick one of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Impex didn't have like a game that was like absolutely. It wasn't like he didn't really dictate the game as much on the Lilia there. And we've seen him do it before, so maybe it was just that, you know, there were other avenues for them to come out on top that they used instead.
Yeah. So we are starting draft 2 so far for Bob, same bands. For what are pink words, we've got the Udyr already. Yeah, Yone ban. I think that's exactly what I wanted. And there's the Ari ban away from Sharky. So we'll see if this is probably the Zed ban again. No,
Kaisa.
It's the Kaisa ban.
So yeah, I guess Kaisa is really something that they're concerned about getting picked up first.
Yeah. I hope Sharky pulls out the Zed here.
Oh yeah, it gives also. Oh boy.
Otherwise, you're probably walking into a Hecarim Zed combo. And if Hecarim doesn't pick you off, Zed will. Instead, we're getting the Rammus Zaya. Rammus is one of Rowdy's most comfortable champions. I think he played it pretty well last game. It definitely killed Kog'Maw with the assist from Kog'Maw multiple times last game.
It was a good pick. And maybe to that degree, maybe Bob doesn't feel quite as great about picking a Kog'Maw. It looks like they might be saving their pick for later, which would be a possibility if they do consider Kog'Maw, but maybe What Are Pink Words might ban it in Phase 2.
Yeah, I think if they pick Blitz here, then What Are Pink Words should ban Kog'Maw and get rid of that kind of late game scaling threat.
Yeah, Blitzcrank is easily able to, on a silver platter, like my liege, like give a kill over to this little caterpillar, and that would be a problem.
Yeah, but it is going to be a nodless pickup instead of the Blitz. I think that's fine. I think Cena and Cucklord played it pretty well. And we're going to get York here for What Are Pink Words. So really similar team comps so far from both teams. I hope we see the Kog'Maw ban. I hope we see the Zed ban from What Are Pink Words.
I mean,
tanks are the option against Zed, and you have Rammus, but you don't have any, like, even if you pick Leona, it's probably still a struggle. And giving, you know, really bad Zed his most comfortable champion, I think, is
a really bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like those last bands to cap it off from what are pink words.
Yeah. So, and same bands this game from Bob as last game. I think you probably pick your support here. I don't like Braum. I love Braum, the champion, the
The
person,
pick
the
here is
human
kind of
being.
weird. I mean,
Uh,
you can block or an ulti, I guess.
yeah, you can block or an ulti. I just feel like his on-demand CC really does struggle. He does slow down Hecarim. If you can land a Q before Hecarim finishes the E auto attack, that'll cut his damage greatly. So it's not horrible. I just think Braum as a champion is kind of in a weird spot right now.
And especially, I think, like, so saving the Tristana pick for later, I think that Tristana probably has an okay time with the Braum. I don't think she cares too much, because if it starts getting a little sketchy, she can just jump away.
Yeah.
And Braum can't really do much else with her.
Gonna see an Orianna pick from Really Bad Zed, which I think is kind of just a different look from what we've seen from him mostly. I think of him as really that 80 player, you know, Zed, Yone. He played ADC quite a bit for a while, so
Yeah.
maybe that's why I think that. But Orianna is a great pick with Hecarim, great pick with Orianna, or with Tristana. Yeah. Even a good pick with Nautilus. You know, you've got some decent ball delivery. You've got great scaling.
I do think Bob does not have as easy of a time dealing with the Yorick side push.
That is very true.
Like, you know, if Tristana goes, then what the heck are you doing if you don't have your ADC? So Orianna's probably going to be the next best match other than Ornn, but Ornn kind of struggles sometimes. But Orianna also can struggle. If you land your ghouls, they can hit pretty hard. I did that to Nunya once. It was great.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of him.
And she doesn't, like, 4 auto attacks is expensive for Orianna. It takes a long time, and if you catch her in the cage, that's like, you know, another 2.
Yeah.
She can't AoE the ghouls down. She doesn't have the damage to burst through Yorick, so I think that's a great point. Yorick's gonna have a much easier time this game, and Crimson Chin played a great game last game. He just had a pretty strong Yone that he had to contend with, so he wasn't really able to get the team fights where he needed.
Yeah, I do think the Vel'Koz pick is interesting. We've seen Sharky on the Vel'Koz before, I believe. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think
I remember watching it. It was pretty nasty.
Let me see if I can find it.
But if they're able to keep... If Rammus and Braum are able to keep a sizable amount of distance between their backline and Bob has to kind of walk up into a bit of a, you know, in a straight line. And Vel'Koz loves that.
Yeah. So Sharky played Vel'Koz into Aloe's Orianna back in week 3. Went 6, 7, and 5. Did quite a bit of damage over the Orianna, but they did lose that game. It looks... Oh, that was the Old Crow Volibear game.
Oh. Yeah, okay. And I mean, that is one of the big concerns, is that Hecarim and Tristana have a lot of dive potential. And that can make Vel'Koz very sad very quickly.
Yeah.
And Xayah has a very easy self-peel. Vel'Koz's is a little harder to do.
Yeah. I will say, as an Orianna player, I don't enjoy fighting Vel'Koz in mid lane. If I'm Orianna, I would do my best to turn this into a fighting or a farm lane. I mean, you can trade, but
it's not fun.
Yeah, if Vel'Koz does hit you with the knockup, then you're going to take a lot of true damage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one thing I want what our pink wards to do this game is I want to see Rowdy just camp top. I want this Yorick to be like this unstoppable pushing machine.
God,
And
me
they gave
too.
him some attention,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't really need that much. But if he had been able to convert some of those low health Orns into 300 gold, um,
True.
I think he would have had a much easier time. I mean, we saw him get solo killed by the Yone, and then he came back and just smacked the Yone.
Yeah.
And this game, there's nobody that can stop him in a straight up 1v1. So get him ahead. The rest of your team can scale and do quite a lot of damage, and they can survive their lanes. You know, Braum, Zaya's,
Pretty defensive.
yeah. Um, Vel'Koz doesn't have to push up against Orianna, and if he's not, then what does Hecarim do?
Mm-hmm.
And this might even be like the full tank Hecarim that we've seen. I don't know if it will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want this Yorick to get ahead.
Yeah, I definitely think if Yorick becomes much more of a factor that he doesn't feel like he needs to teleport and is able to get enough done without having to teleport, and then possibly, like, first you lose your TP advantage. Second of all, you might just get yourself in trouble because Yorick's TPs are a little eh. They're not like as bad as Alawi TPs, but they're still not great.
They have the potential to be.
Yeah.
If you don't have any ghouls.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing, is I feel like Crimson Chin went to a lot of things without any ghouls. And without Maiden, because Maiden summons 4 ghouls with her. So I think having that available to bring your friends along is a really important factor that wasn't really capitalized on. And it's sometimes hard, like, you know, you're like, okay guys, I'm coming, but then you're like, okay, hold on, I have to stop by mid and kill this wave, because if you raise your ghouls when the wave still exists, they're not going to follow you, they're just going to kill the wave. So then you still don't have any ghouls.
Yeah.
They're not very smart, unfortunately.
So I think my game plan, if I'm wet or pink words, is as Rowdy, I'm starting blue, going red, and you know, whatever, getting level 3, and then I'm ganking top. And then I'm doing it again. And then I'm going to gank bot at level 6 and try and get this first drag.
And then go back top.
And then, yeah, go back top, but try and get Herald if you can.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I don't want them to team fight Bob for the rest of the game, basically.
Yeah.
I think they want to try and win off the back of Yorick split pushing and just delay mid-game dragons. Like, I want them to get an early dragon to stop the soul stacking.
Yep. But it's okay to concede or just waste their time. And actually, that's something, besides Rammus, Xayah, Braum, and Vel'Koz are all pretty good disengage. Like I said, Vel'Koz's disengage is a little not as great, and sometimes it's a little more hit or miss, because sometimes you knock people away and sometimes you knock them a little more, like, closer.
Yeah.
But if they, if they decide, oh, we need to turn this or something, they still have the orbital laser.
Yeah, for sure. For Bob, you've got a team fight comp, so you got to get some team fights here. I think your number 1 win condition is definitely Tyler Juan on Tristana.
Yep.
If she gets ahead, then she might actually be able to deal with Yorick. Likely she'll go Gale Force instead of Kraken Slayer, and Yorick does build a lot of health. But Tristana can do a lot of damage. But if she's 4 levels underneath Yorick, then maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana still, she doesn't kill the ghouls especially fast. She still has to do it one at a time, I think.
Yes.
Because the little splash damage from her E passive, it's like spell damage, so it won't kill a ghoul. So if Yorick's able to get the tag on her and throw the ghouls on, Tristana may get chunked enough to not want to. And so definitely if Tristana's the one to match, and hopefully if Bob has the rest of their team strong enough to be able to, deal with the 4v4 without their ADC, then Tristana just needs to, like, not die to Yorick, hopefully. Save jump for the baby cage and stuff. I don't think she needs to really aggressively try and trade on him. Just keep him at bay. And farm up, because each ghoul is like 2 or 3 gold or some shit. Yorick's hate this one trick.
Holy cannoli, Crimson Chin. That is a lot of Yorick mastery.
Man, I just hit level 5, like, last month.
Yeah. Last team, the red team with 4 skins, did win the game. So, going off of that, I'm going to have to call it for what are pink words. The data doesn't lie. A red team with 4 skins will win the game.
Yeah, I think I do, like, it's really just on my hopes and dreams that they get the Yorick going. But I think that if they do get that Yorick going, that they're going to have a pretty good game. So I think that I would bet my... I don't know what I would bet, but bet my whatevers on the what are pink words again this time.
Yeah, I don't believe in the sunk cost fallacy. I think I like their team comp more. I think it's funny how Yorick warps every game that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
We've spent pretty much the last 5 minutes talking about who can deal with Yorick and how he can win the game.
That's true.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, the real winner is the weather, it seems. Tyler Juan's internet has gone out.
Oh.
Or not his internet, but his entire power has gone out because of severe weather. So
we may be sitting on a pause for a bit, you say. Hopefully.
Yeah. We will probably get into game and then have to pause. And then it comes down to whether Bob can reschedule.
Whether or not.
Yes. Hopefully, though, we can get his power back on here real quick and get into game.
Yeah, I've spent all this time talking about Yorick. I just want to see Yorick. Because I'll never see him again, probably. It's gonna take a long time to get out of this loading screen then if it like went in the middle of the loading screen.
It's gonna be 3 minutes of sitting in the loading screen for the delay. I mean, Impex said at 7:01 that they were still stuck at 98, which means we're going to be 3 minutes behind that, at least.
Excellent, excellent.
We made it into the game just in time for a pause as everybody gets stuck, I believe.
Quick, reorganize the scoreboard.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it in time.
Speedrun, swap Yorick and Vel'Koz.
We do get to move the screen around.
And Hecarim and Or. And then we're good. Oh, there it is.
Looks like we've got Rowdy up in Team 1, maybe waiting to chat about a
how
thing.
likely, Oh, they're expecting that they might need to get a sub or something. Must be severe. I mean, there's definitely like a lot of swinging weather, so I would not be surprised if there is some storms to make that continue.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's in the 40s right now, but we're supposed to hit 70 soon, and then back down to the 40s, and then back up.
Yeah, next weekend looking quite nice, I think. Yeah, Friday 63, Saturday 66, Sunday 66.
I guess we'll figure out what we're doing as soon as they figure out what we're doing. Because it's like, it's one thing to like reschedule the game because of whatever, other than that probably shouldn't happen, but the other thing is like rescheduling in the middle of the series. Like, you already played your one game. Yeah. Having to reschedule just to play the other one feels kind of bad.
Yeah. I mean, so the official ruling is we'll handle it on a case-by-case basis. This is the beginning of a game, at least. It's not in the middle of a game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but if they if they change to a sub, then the draft is gonna be potentially completely different.
Yeah. If both teams agree to reschedule, that's perfectly within the rules. If they decide to pick up a sub because of extenuating circumstances, I don't know if we would necessarily penalize Bob for the power outage.
Right, for the quote-unquote last-minute sub.
Yeah.
You just remake the draft, I guess. And give, them time to scout with the new player.
All right, okay. So the sub will be swapped in, and we'll be playing Jinx instead of Tristana. I did see my Bacchusaur show up in the chat with them briefly, so I'm hoping my Bacchusaur isn't going to be the sub.
But yeah, that causes a few more problems.
Yeah, maybe. We are going to drop out of the game here so that... Oh! Did you see that?
The long buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're here forever.
So we're gonna have to redo the draft again, but they're gonna keep the same drafts except swapping Jinx for Tristana. So.
Yeah, and I mean Jinx wasn't anything that was banned or anything, so.
They might have already started the new lobby.
Tell them to let you in.
In which case, I can't spectate.
Uh,
Might let me after 3 minutes. Hopefully, that's not what happened.
you might just want to message because they're only 33 seconds in, so it would be easy to remake. It kind of looks like they're still trying to, but I would message.
Yeah. Rowdy's at a game, so I think.
Yeah, they're just waiting for everyone to leave so it closes the server and stuff so they can get invited to a new one.
So Jinx instead of Tristana. I think Jinx is probably a stronger late game champion, but not necessarily. But you're putting most of your eggs in kind of this late game basket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it really changes the game that much, but a good Jinx Nautilus combo, especially with the fast acting traps now.
Mm-hmm.
You land a hook in lane, you might really just.
I mean, I kind of like it more. Like, I mean, you aren't necessarily like dive buddies with your Hecarim and stuff, but you know, being dive buddy as ADC is a little risky. But instead, like while the wombo happens of like Hecarim and Orianna, you know, Jinx is out skirting the edges of the fight, hopefully pew-pewing.
Yeah.
But she still does not want to have that Rammus come anywhere near her. Unless she has friends.
Yeah. She will kill herself on Rammus almost as bad as Kog'Maw did.
Yeah. Hmm. 11-6 solo queue statistics say that Orin counters Yorick top out of 325 matches, which is not that many.
Well, I would believe it. Let's see, our new sub here is Lauren the Cow. Looks like they are a definite sort of last-ditch ringer. Haven't played for a while, but have played with Impex before, so hopefully, you know, they won't let it affect it too much, affect their mental too much. Hopefully, Witter Pinkwards on the other side aren't too tilted after going through draft a second time and sitting in a pause screen. I know I'm tilted, so.
We had to log into his account to cancel the game. That's funny.
this is where we cut to my back is sore's league theme for you all to listen to as we sit on Champion Select for the third time this series.
I definitely do not have it downloaded. Or whatever.
Boom.
I don't know how loud that is.
I would check, but
Don't do it. I'm just evaluating based on looking at my mixer.
And we're back.
Why?
Production value. Getting into loading screen again. Now minus a Tyler Juan and plus Lauren the Cow. We'll have to see if they can get anything moving down there in the bot lane.
Oh.
Fun. All right, we see pings going out and a 5-person run up to the top side for what are pink wards. Probably they went back and watched our evaluation of how they win this game and are now going to do their best to get a first blood kill over to York. The Braum Q just misses Sergeant of Mithril, but Ori can't really help anymore. Rammus does start Q. They might be able to force a flash.
Oh.
Nothing there. Cool as a cucumber from Sergeant Mithril. And now we have a Rammus who had to start Q. The bot lane of what our pink wards are going to walk alone into the blue side jungle here.
Yeah, interestingly, Bob's blue side didn't decide to sneak up for any extra vision or anything of the sort. Maybe it seems pretty obvious that Rammus, after starting Q, would definitely want to leash. Luckily, he's there just in time, thanks to a Powerball.
Yep. Good guy, Braum, tanking a hit or two for Rammus as well to make sure it starts up perfectly. So overall, nothing lost too much. Rammus will probably have a bit of a slower clear. I think in an ideal world, he would only take Q at level 3.
I believe so.
So now the onus is on Impex on this Hecarim to maybe go for an early gank before Rammus can catch back up. However, Impex at the Krugs seems pretty likely that he is just going to go for a full clear, which Hecarim is good at doing. Crimson Chin.
Much better early trade for going for him.
Yeah.
Had all the cats ready. Hit the level 2 and instantly unleashed. They're not cats, they're whatever. They're all cats for me. They're all cats, bro.
The ghoulies.
Yeah. Do they have cats too?
I want
them to.
know. We're gonna. Who cares about bot lane? No,
they're
they
just
don't.
normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see that, Orin, when the ghouls are thrown on, your instinct is to W, and that doesn't kill them.
Yeah. They have the little, the spiked arm guards that are so common in metal groups. Good trades there from the bot lane of what are pink words featuring Mind Static 64.
Yeah. This mid lane matchup though, really bad Zed is doing a really good job just using the ball as a way to keep the Vel'Koz a little bit at bay.
Yeah, and with that mid prio, Rammus, kind of looking at Hecarim take his turtle, his crab. He's the turtle.
Yeah, maybe
but now he can just run up, and the slow from
I would have liked
the Vel'Koz Q, and now they're splitting focus here a bit.
Yeah, I would have liked the flash with the Powerball. I think that would have gotten them into the action a little sooner, and therefore they would have been able to do a little more. Ooh.
Flash out of the baby cage from Sergeant of Mithril. The thing about not blowing flash there is it does mean they came out ahead with Ghost.
True.
So overall, fairly worth it, and because of the bot lane prio, Rammus should secure the scuttle, but Impex smites it away and is just gonna E out.
That's sad.
Pretty unfortunate, yeah. And Sergeant of Mithril actually getting some good trades back down onto Crimson Chin. Oh, Sergeant, I believe, started with the Doran Shield and then crafted. No, you can't do that. You can't craft Corrupting Pot.
Yeah, you have to start with the Corrupting and then craft the shield.
Yeah, so he crafted the Corrupting Pot or crafted the Doran Shield mid lane, and now these trades are going a lot smoother for him. This game, instead of the first back Merc treads, we're getting a first back Sheen from York, which
that's a feels good.
Yeah. Shout out to Mind Static there doing the intelligent thing, and when shown a low health caster minion versus a low health melee minion, not doing what I do and hitting the caster minion almost every time, despite playing this game for 9 years, he takes the melee minion instead. One of my personal pet peeves about myself when I see I see a low health caster minion and I want to take it, and then I lose my low health melee minions.
So yeah, Rammus is definitely, he's about half the CS of Hecarim since he lost out on both crabs.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit slower farm for him.
Oh, nice little loop-de-loop from Nautilus to avoid getting.
Vel'Koz is pushed up.
Yeah, and Orianna 6, Hecarim is 6. They don't need the shockwave. We might be able to see a roam down from really bad Zed here. Despite the bot lane prio and just getting the kill in mid lane, Hecarim, that's his first back, gets the Bammy Cinder, I believe. So not going to go for the dragon, just going to go pick up his red, and now that he has items, we'll probably start looking.
Yep. It's pretty common for junglers to get cooldown boots nowadays too, and he definitely has done so.
And with the Bammies, it will be the he does flash out. Let's see, Braum goes for the flash Q and just barely misses it. So C9 Cuckload with a great flash to secure his own life. We see really bad Zed takes Vel'Koz's pink ward, and while Hecarim is taking Rammus's raptors. Oh my god, I called them raptors. But, you know, Vel'Koz potentially in a precarious position. He is not pushing forward, which is good. Orianna could go for a freeze here if she wants to, and I think she does. She is last hitting only. And if you can bring that Vel'Koz out, his flash is going to be up soon, but we're probably about to see another 3v3, but this time for the Rift Herald. Rammus decides to back out. That's the Ornn ulti down. I don't know if you want to attempt anything. Hecarim with the great scoop to pull Crimson Chin out of his own baby cave. And unfortunately, 4v3, Crimson Chin does lose.
But bot lane, we might be getting some things out of it.
With the flash being blown last time, that's another 2 kills to this Xayah. Mind Static's going to be huge. It's just a question of will he be able to cut through a 3-0 Hecarim and an Ornn who have Orianna shields. This is definitely becoming a top side of the map game versus the bot side of the map game.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that
Making it in a bunch of little fragments too.
we got a gank here from Hecarim. He gets onto the Xayah, who doesn't have any spells or ultimate left. She does just barely get with the pullback, manage to do some damage there. Vel'Koz is firing his laser. That's going to be a dead Hecarim. A huge shutdown going over to Rammus, which should serve him really well to get back into the game. And that's a 1 for 3, a support for your shutdown on the jungler and your ADC. It's a really close fight, but the exhaust was just enough to really stuff the Hecarim.
Yeah, and that does get some kills onto the Vel'Koz, which puts him in a much better spot than he was in just a little bit before.
Yeah, absolutely. I pulled up OBS and started streaming that as well, just to see if that...
Okay. I mean, aren't you running the same?
Yeah, I'm running Streamlabs, and it did just update.
So it might
probably crash.
Thing.
But we'll see. So off of that team fight, Vel'Koz gets his Liandry's and just decimates the health of Jinx on that first recall. So that fight was huge for him. He's now only 700 gold behind the Orianna. Orianna going for the 1v2 in the bot lane, but it's not a 1v2. His pocket Hecarim is there again. Yorick now in a 1v2 as Brahms said, nope, I'm leaving. Hecarim gets the ulti. Brahm is coming back now. Brahms' ulti is almost back up. They might be able to stun Hecarim.
Divine Sunder on
that
Yorick, so he's actually hitting pretty hard here.
And the Braum ulti is back up now. Braum could go for something aggressive, but I don't think they will. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Vel'Koz, true damage lasers care nothing about how far behind you are. They do true damage. And now he might get a solo 1v2 kill under tower.
Well, this suddenly got very exciting. Yorick's gonna finish this tower.
Yeah. And that's 2 towers now down to this Yorick.
To throw the E on the Ori, and she's gonna have to flash.
Yep. Ornn does trade towers up in the top lane, but we see, you know, Ori couldn't cut through those ghouls with a QW. She had to auto each one, and in a true 1v1, that's gonna be pretty hard for her. She does have 2200 gold from getting the shutdown kill onto onto Mind Static's Zaya. So she's going to go back here and have her Seraphs complete. She's already stacked the tier, and that will be a huge power spike for her. We see 2 pink wards in the inventory of Hecarim, a pink for Ori, and a pink for Nobliss. So I think they're looking at this dragon coming up in 50 seconds, and they're going to go start stacking up their soul point. But you've got Yorick down here. Oh, they're going for Herald instead. And there's still 30 seconds on Dragon, so they'll be able to kill this quick and still move down to the Dragon. But what are pink wards? Do you have all of the setup there?
I don't know. I feel like we've seen this before. It's definitely a little different. Yorick is pounding away at that bot turret, which I think is the correct thing to do while they're waiting.
Yeah, this will be Maiden going down for the potential dragon fight. She'll live, but have very little HP. Nope, she goes down. Alright. And blue team says, yeah, go take that dragon if you want. We're gonna just push down mid. Orin doing his best Rift Herald impression and charging the wall while Rift Herald charges the tower. And Rammus sneaks up. They're having Zaya solo the dragon, but they're losing their
Herald
inhibitor
gets
tower.
Charge shortly if they don't get her down.
Yeah.
Oh, she goes down.
There it is. But Rowdy is now stuck in the middle. The Nautilus ulti, Vel'Koz casts his ult too soon and gets Nautilus knocked up. The Braum does block the...
Zaya's here.
Yeah. Now that Zaya's here, she can go for this.
She doesn't have the feather pull back.
One more tower shot is enough to kill. You've got 2 dead, and now Yorick's taking the bot lane inhibitor in the bot lane.
Alright.
Like we said, Yorick warps the game around him, and he is so far ahead of his lane opponent right now.
So who comes out more on top? There's more kills that go over to the side of Bob. But the dragon goes over to what are pink wards. And then there's pressure in mid lane versus pressure bot lane.
Well, now Baron is the only objective up on the map for 4 minutes. So you always want that.
Wins the objective boogaloo.
Yeah, I mean, you have a safe mid lane that you can keep warded up for your teleportless ADC or mid laner, and just keep getting them more and more gold, while Yorick can go split top, and you're already going to have top lane warded because Baron's over there. So I think overall, it's more worth it for what are pink wards.
Mm-hmm.
They are even gonna trade back on this mid tower because Bob
no punishment.
Took too long to reset. So Yorick took 3 towers on that 1 life, and then an inhibitor, and what our pink wards got the dragon. Hecarim though doesn't care about your ideals. He goes right in, but does very little damage here.
They're in a choke.
We're gonna get a
But they're
Vel'Koz
also
gets
in
a
a choke.
great laser, and because of that Vel'Koz laser, the front line is just eviscerated. The Jinx rocket doesn't hit anybody. That is low,
and Yorick
now
is living out his best fantasy.
Yeah. Yorick is just ending the game, and Orianna's gonna die.
Oh my!
That's it. What our pink wards came out ahead, Dana.
They did it. Whoa, that's wild. And yeah, I mean, no one's gonna be up quite in time, so between the super minions and Yorick just being there, 0-1-0 Yorick wins the game, everybody. You love to see it. I love to see it. Oh my lord.
It literally took him 2 backs. He took 3 towers in the bot lane on one life. And then he teleports in while the rest of his team is fighting around mid lane dragon.
Yep. Oh my god.
And he just wins he didn't even teleport. He actually just walked in.
He was already bot, and then I thought that Bob was gonna maybe just go for him bot, but they ended up with that team fight that yeah.
There we go.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, I think that was. I think what are pink words with their adjustments in the draft. It was exactly what they needed to make the Yorick comp work. The first game, the Yone was just a little bit too strong, and they Bob just kept finding these multi-man knockups and team fights. Uh, Justin, aka Shock, says my commentary was wholesome. So
Excellent.
thank you, my one Twitch viewer. um, Yeah, or Oriana tried. She came out 13 damage ahead of Vel'Koz,
I mean,
but
that's the yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? We talked about the wombo. We talked about like, okay, yeah, you have a good wombo, but also if you have to wombo in a closed space to get the wombo on the other team, that means that you're probably also within the closed space, and Vel'Koz loves that, and that's kind of what happened at that last team fight.
yeah. So great play from Sharky that game. He got camped, but he didn't let it bother him. He came back and
The pickup
came
bot
went
was
from like
huge.
0-2 and ended up 4-3-8. And that last team fight, Laser just melted the front line. This tank Hecarim, tank Ornn, tank Nautilus, and then it was Mind Static's time to shine. He came up huge on the Xayah, 9-2. The subbing god himself, blessing What Are Pink Words with the 1-1 against Bob. I think it was a great series. I think both teams played really well. They kind of both executed the games that they won. I think they both executed their game plans exactly how they needed to pull out a win.
Yeah.
I don't think Yorick wins the game at 22 minutes solo, basically every time. That was very weird.
That was
Um,
abnormal.
but great job from Crimson Chin to to pull it out.
Yeah.
Realize that he can do that and just do that.
Okay. Yeah, they're in
All
team
right.
one, so